Okay, hello and welcome to the third episode of Quarantine Cooking with Quincy across the nation, or across the nation quarantine cooking with Quincy. Today we're going to be making gumbo with chicken, sausage, ham, okra, onions, and more. It's going to be really good. So first off, we're going to start by making a soup. So here I have, I'm going to turn it on the heat to medium-low, and we have about 1/4 cup of butter here, so, but you can use less. I'm using less. And then here we have a 1/4 cup of flour, and once this starts to melt more, we're going to add it to that and create a soup. So gumbo is from the south, and it's not typically with other things, so we're not going to make any other things since this has a lot of stuff in it and it tastes amazing. But also, we're going to be cooking rice. Well, we're going to have rice with it. So you can start making rice right now because it will be ready. This will be ready in about half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, so this is starting to melt a lot. And after this completely melts, we're going to add the flour, and we're going to be whisking it for about 12 to 15 minutes, or until it creates a sort of caramel brownish color. And then also, I'm just using this to push it down, but you should also be whisking it. Although if it gets, it'll probably get clumped into the whisk. So just try your best to scrape it out with a knife or something that can go through the. Okay, so this is almost melted. You can see it's dimmed down a lot. Melted a lot. Create a nice warm hot butter. Okay, and just about 10 more seconds until we'll add the flour. Okay, so now let's add the flour. So it's a 1/4 cup of flour. Already got it measured out. We're going to put it in there. Whisk it together. It might looking really weird at first, but don't worry, that's how it's supposed to look. And it also might start clumping together, but that's okay too. And there won't be a lot of this mixture, but it should start to thicken and turn into a caramel color soon. So let's just wait about 12 to 15 until it starts to brown and turn to color. So that, again, it's 12 to 15 minutes depending on your stove. Okay, the stew's starting to look really good. Whether yours is more thick or not, it doesn't matter. It should be like this. So now we have 1/2 cup of chopped onion and 1/2 cup of chopped celery. And then we're going to also turn up our heat to medium-high. And then we're just going to stir the vegetables in this hot stew and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. But if it's getting too hot, you can always turn on the heat, or if it's not like crackling or simmering at all, then you can just turn up the heat. So again, that's 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, we're going to simmer it. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. Well, actually, it hasn't. It should take probably less than that, and you don't want it to burn. So now we're just going to add about actually 6 to 8 cups of this chicken broth, but make sure to just do a tiny bit at a time. And you can turn down the heat. And so that's again, you should use should probably use quite a bit depending on how you like it. It will start to thicken pretty soon, but depending on how much your thickness, you should probably use about 6 to 8 cups. But that's just depending on how you like it. So I'm gonna add 7 right in the middle. And make sure to stir occasionally. And then after this, we're just going to let it simmer for 10 minutes. Okay. And so it's now going to simmer for 10 minutes, and make sure to stir occasionally. And the vegetables should start to soften soon. Okay, so here we have our nice vegetables simmering in the chicken broth and the soup. So now we are going to add a lot of things here. So here we have about a half a cup, well, about 1 cup of okra, but you can use less or more depending on how. And you can. This is also just frozen, so you don't even have to use actual okra because it will just warm up anyways. And then here we have 1 can of diced tomatoes. Put that in. Okay. And here we have half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. So you can actually make it yourself. That's what we did. So we 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons actually sorry, I believe there's just onion powder, salt, cayenne pepper, paprika, and cumin, I believe, and just add those to here. It doesn't matter. It will taste fine however you put it. And then we'll finally add the meat. So you can use variation, but here I'm using about a half cup of chicken, a half cup of sausage, and a half cup of ham. I'd recommend using those 3 meats and cube them all. But you can use more or less of them. And then we're just gonna keep stirring it until it comes to a simmer. And then we'll just let it simmer for about 3 minutes until it's nice and warm. And then we'll put it on some rice that has been cooking, hopefully for you. And then we'll eat it. But also, this variation is a New Orleans style gumbo that is found in Disneyland, in New Orleans Square at Cafe Orleans. And so it's very, even though it's from Disneyland, it's very New Orleans influenced, and it tastes very good. See you then. Okay, so stirring this gumbo. Nice good color. Some of the oil from the butter might go to the top, but that's okay, just keep stirring. And then we're gonna add gumbo foil. So gumbo foil is really hard to add at the store, so we can't even find it. So we're gonna add a replacement. So 1 tablespoon cornstarch. So just sprinkle it all around here. And then 1 tablespoon water. This is just to thicken it, because Gumbo file is just a thickener. So now you want to get a whisk and whisk it around a lot. You can also turn down the heat a little because it's come to a simmer. And then that's pretty much it. Now you can just eat it. So you can just put it over some rice and then garnish it with some green onions. That looks really good. Also, you should taste it. Always taste something before you serve it up. But you should probably also, if you're using the substitute, you should probably keep letting it simmer a little bit because it needs time to thicken. Okay, so here's the final product with some rice and some green onions for a little garnish. So let's taste it. Try and get all the vegetables and the meat. Very good. The vegetables clash well together and the flavor of the soup is well done.
This gumbo's delicious. It's like rich but not too rich. Just feels just right. It's like a great mix of meats and vegetables in here. It's just delicious.
Feel like I'm right there in Louisiana eating a good old-fashioned gumbo.